Make sure this is going. Let me get this out of here. Booyaka, booyaka, booyaka. Why is it live in 18 minutes? Oh, I put 8:15. I don't know why I put 8:15. I don't know why I did that crap. There it is. All right, let's go into that first promo. Catch the Craze is partnered with NSC Roadshow. NSCLiveTV.com and Inc. Marketing are proud to present the NSC Roadshow podcast tour. As a creator, come to be treated like a rock star as we take you on a tour with podcasters from around the world. Got a Kickstarter, Indiegogo, or a project you would like to tell thousands about? Come and get on the tour. Are you a podcaster that would like more creators on your show? Come become a tour stop on the tour. What's up, George? Who do we have on the show today?
What's up, Sammy? We are back, and we have Mr. Todd Zverloff, and his Kickstarter is Confidence right now, live.
Yes, do you have confidence, Georgie? Because I have plenty.
We are the only show for independents all around, giving you a platform to spread your word all over town. Catch the Craze is the place to promote to your fans with the dream of Medina and Sam the Crazy Man. Subscribe to our show and never miss an episode. It's time to get your mans, listen to us on the go. Updated every week, we never miss a day. Join the squad, come on in. It's time to catch the Craze. If you are an independent, catch the Craze. Making moves on your own, catch the Craze. On your grind in the streets, catch the Craze. Join the movement, catch the Craze.
Yeah, George, we did it again. Come on now. You know you want to do it. Catch the Craze. Welcome to Catch the Craze podcast. I am your host with the most, Sam the Crazy Man Vera, and I am with
George the Dreamer Medina. What's happening, Sammy? What is crack-a-lacking? You know,
it's crack-a-lacking, that's for sure. Huh?
Funny you say that about confidence, because you have more than enough for both of us.
Yes.
Speaking of which, so what are you doing over there?
How about promoting the show that we're doing right now?
Welcome, everyone.
Welcome,
to
everybody.
Our episode of Catch the Craze. We are live tonight. We are promoting another incredible artist, writer, creator of an independent comic book called Confidence that is currently live on Kickstarter. So we're gonna do it. We're gonna be doing that right now. We're gonna be talking to Todd Zverloff. And Todd, when you get on, if I said your name incorrectly, please let me know.
I think you probably did.
Todd hit me up on one of our social networks, and he was like, "Hey, dude, I got this Kickstarter campaign. Check it out." And I did, and I loved it. So I pledged. So if you are watching, make sure you go to Kickstarter. I mean, the link's gonna be in the summary, but it's actually on right now. But yeah, go to Kickstarter and make sure you pledge to this dope book. I love the art style. I love the concept and the story. It's different. It's original. So you guys definitely want to check that out. You don't believe me? Check for yourself. Go to Kickstarter, type in Confidence, and you will see the book.
Yeah.
But yeah, so excited to have him on the show today. Chat with him, talk to him about his process and what's happening on his Kickstarter.
Yeah. Hold on, I'm just tweeting this out. This show.
Do your thing.
Yeah. So pretty cool. But while we're talking about Kickstarters, we currently have a campaign ourselves. And we have, I think, 18 days left to go. I think that's what it is. And
we have our campaign goes through May 29th.
Yeah.
So yeah, we have a few days. We have a few days left.
Yes.
So if you haven't yet, make sure you check our Kickstarter as well. Pledge. We have some cool stuff in there. We're trying to reach some stretch goals. I think we're trying to reach our 50 backer stretch goals. So get on there. Yeah, ours ends on Saturday, May 29th at 7:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So definitely check it out.
Yes. So, we're trying to get to 50 backers. we can't do it without you. And we have a lot of great incentives to get to the 50 backers. And we're hoping that you're one of the 50 that pledge, because we're going to be raffling off There's Nailing in My Toilet, issue number 1, first flush. And that's going to be awesome, on top of whatever incentive you get for the stretch goal, which is crazy. Live stream.
Yeah. We do live shows every first Wednesday of the month usually. Yeah. But being that we have been backed. All right, so what happens is we have been interviewing a lot of independent artists. We have a lot of shows in the pipeline already recorded. So we were getting backlogged. So in order to avoid the backlog, we stopped recording shows for the Fridays. You get a show every Friday from us. And we decided to start doing these live shows where we're promoting Kickstarters and we're talking to artists live until we catch up. So we will be going live next month with the 4 Horsemen, with Mr. Anibal Arroyo and Mr. Jonathan Syfax. And by then we should know how many backers we have, because obviously the campaign would have ended, and we can do the raffle there live, or we can do it at the we didn't even mention this one on the last show. We're going to be at POW Comic-Con.
PowCon, yes, right. Oh, yes. Well, and speaking of PowCon, we're going to be at PowCon. I do have to mention this. I'm going to plug this little commercial. We're having an art contest at PowCon for the Crazees. So instead of me just boring you with some jargon, here we go. What's up, artists? Want to win some cool prizes? Well, I have a contest for you. Show us your best Crazies. That's right. Draw the Catch The Crazees for a chance to win some cool prizes like a feature in the book, interview on the podcast, and some cool swag. Winners will be announced at PowCon at a live panel. It'll also be streaming live across the globe. Here's a chance for some bragging rights, some cool swag, and a feature in the book. Send your submissions to contact@catchthecraze.com. So, disclaimer. Not sure if it's going to be streaming live because Sal, if you're watching, I don't know why I haven't been able to get my information yet, but he hasn't been able to confirm whether or not the venue provides Wi-Fi. And I was supposed to call them today because I looked them up and I found out who runs the venue. And for some reason I got caught up. So we're trying to confirm if we're able to stream live at PowCon. If not, we will, at least a podcasting panel. If we can't, we'll do some highlight streaming through my phone, but I'm not sure how much what that will do, but we'll definitely be doing interviews over there, and we'll be streaming it to like Instagram live for the interviews. So we will stream somehow, but not sure if we'll be able to get it on Twitch and YouTube and all that other stuff, but we'll see. Sam's
like, we are streaming. I don't care. We're going streaming.
I said, what are you talking about, brother?
Big shout out to Sal Lemedico, who is the promoter for PowCon. Thank you very much for the invite.
Yes.
We're going to be there. We're going to be doing, like Sam said, a panel about podcasting. So if you guys are going to be at the show, the panel will be, done by us live there, obviously. And we're going to, like Sam said, we're going to try to stream that to everybody who doesn't get a chance to go to the show. But why wouldn't you, right? You want to go to the show. So make sure you get your tickets. Right now, I think you can still purchase tickets now. After the 14th, I believe, you will have to pay for them at the door, and it's cash only.
Yes.
So get on that. Make sure you go to to the PowCon website, and make sure you get on there and purchase your tickets for that Saturday and Sunday, May 29th and 30th in Wayne, New Jersey. So if you're from the tri-state area, if you're in New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, make sure you get out there. Shows are starting to open up. This show, we had Sal on the show actually in the past, and he's told us that it is safe. It is going to be very safe for everybody. They're, following precautions and things of that nature. So you definitely want to check it out. Get out the house, go check it out. It's Memorial Day weekend, but let's get out there.
And for all your Twitter followers, we're streaming live on Twitter, which is crazy.
Nice. Sammy is somewhere else. I am giving you information about the PowCon. Sam is not listening, and he's somewhere else. This is what he does to me.
Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high. So yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, no, we're streaming on Twitter. Obviously, as Sam just said, we're on Twitch, we're on Facebook. If you
YouTube.
have stumbled upon us here on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We are going to be, like I said, live like we said on the last show. I don't know if you were watching at 7 p.m., but we will be live tomorrow as well. So we're going to be live for 2 shows tomorrow. We're going to be promoting some more indie creators.
We want some more. We want some more. We want some more.
So yeah, so definitely check us out and make sure you like, subscribe, comment.
Yes.
Let's grow the channel together. So.
Yes, let's grow the channel together forever.
Together, man.
Yeah. So it's interesting.
What's going on, Sam?
I think this is the first doing a back-to-back live streaming. So it's unique for us, but we're trying to fit in as many cats as possible. Like George said, and there's so many campaigns. It's crazy. It's like the crack epidemic. It's like campaigns are everywhere. And like you got a campaign, you got a campaign, and it's yeah. So all of a sudden the floodgates open, and everybody was like, "Yo, I wanna promote my stuff on your show," and I'm like, "All right, we'll make room for you, and we got you. Don't worry about it." And so. We're hoping that this, all these live shows does something for the indies that are put their heart and sweat equity into their projects. And we hope that you show them some love, and as well as ours, Catch The Crazees, issue 3. Here's your chance to collect all 3. This is dope. I'm excited about it, and so it's crazy that we got 18 days to go, a little over 2 weeks. Can't believe we've been running for 2 weeks. We hit a wall, but we're hoping to get past that wall, and so let's get to that. Can we get 50 backers? We need 18 more to get to 50 backers. Can we do that?
Right there. We're right there.
Oh, speaking of,
knocking on that door.
Come and knock on my door. We've been waiting for you.
Where the kisses are hers and his. Three's company too.
So we have a surprise for our super backers. So
yes.
Really? My dog just sneezed like 12 times. So we have a surprise for our super backers. For those of you who have followed us from the first campaign to the third campaign, if you pledged on Catch The Crazees #1 and Catch The Crazees #2, and if you haven't pledged on 3, it's in your best interest to do so, because we have a surprise for you guys. And if you want to find out what that surprise is, you have to join us next Wednesday on our live stream. And it's just going to be just the 2 of us. We can make it if we try. So it's going to be George and I, and we're going to be announcing and debuting what we're going to be honoring our super backers with. A gift from us to you. So you want to be there. We sent an email to all of our super backers and potential super backers, those of you who haven't pledged yet for the third campaign. We're hoping that you all join us for the live event next Wednesday.
Yes, it's gonna be nice. I mean, you guys have supported us. We figured we throw an extra thank you there for you guys, and so we made a list. We checked it twice.
We're going to find out who's naughty or nice. Sammy Claus is coming to town. Remember that?
Totally.
Do you remember?
Totally. Yeah.
Our first campaign in Christmas, when I was wrapping it off, I was singing Sammy Claus.
It felt like Santa Claus. Yeah, that's bad. Dan, that was late last year.
Yes, can you remember?
Late last year. Yeah.
I was looking at the old video. I was a little, I'm a little twisted. I think I'm the only one who did it. So and I'm singing Santa Claus songs and I'm wrapping this stuff up, and I was excited because it was our first campaign. We made it. It was great.
Yeah, it was a good one, man.
We were voyaging.
Very soon after we did the second one. That was good. And here we are. We're on the third campaign. So, the third book is done. I'm lettering it right now. I'm halfway through it already. So, yeah, this thing is almost done.
Yeah, because it took them 2 years to letter Forbidden. And I got that completed done.
Listen, Forbidden just kept getting bigger and bigger every single time I lettered it. I was like,
that's what she said.
I'm only 20 pages. I'm only 20 pages away. Damn.
He got that joke while he was walking out the door. He's like,
wait, what? The U-turn came back. Oh, snap. Wow. So I don't even know what I was saying. It doesn't even matter. Doesn't even matter anymore. Who cares?
Yeah, it's funny because for a while I was telling people, yeah, it's about 120 something pages. It's 168 pages. I didn't even know that I wrote 168 pages.
What? I was like, yeah, I'm done. Oh, did you? It's 50. The last book is 52 pages. I'm like, I only have 30. Oh yeah, I got to send you those.
That book is epic though. But every time I go back and look at, because I forget about the art, and then when I go back, I'm like, yo, these pages are hot. Like the Primi Santra who did the follow-up issues, he killed it.
Yeah, this is actually the holofoil cover of Forbidden #0.
Nice.
And this is done by Mr. David Keelis, the Wolf.
The Wolf.
Which we gave a shout out to.
In sheep's clothing.
And then in the back of it, Sam's put together this little ad, which also has the same effect.
Yeah, look at that.
Big shout out to our printer for doing this. And then if you look, if you look there, you see the cover for Crazees #1.
Yes, numero uno.
That's got the holofoil effect. That's what the book will look like. There is a reward level on the Kickstarter that we have running right now where you can get a holofoil cover of issue #1, you get a silver cover of issue #2, and you get a gold cover of issue #3. They're limited to 250 prints, and they're numbered. They're serialized. So you definitely want to get on that. If you haven't already, we had a launch special on the first day, and we, the #1 issue, one of 252 was Jonathan Syfax. Big shout out to Jonathan Syfax, big supporter of the Crazies and the show. So he's getting that, but there's still time to get the book. So make sure when you go on there, even if you don't pick the level with all 3 covers, they're there as add-ons. So you can you can pledge to whatever you want and then add them in if you want. And like I said, they are numbered, so and they come with a certificate of authenticity, as does the homage cover, which Sam did. That's limited to 100 copies. That also comes with a certificate of authenticity. If you follow Sam on Instagram, if you follow the Crazies on Instagram, you will see what the homage cover looks like. You will also see what the certificate of authenticity looks like, because Sam's been posting that everywhere.
Everywhere. It's funny. I didn't even realize that Twitter has the capability to live stream. And I'm on Twitter right now watching the live stream, and I just wanted to test it out. It's the first time I'm testing it out. And I just responded to the video. It was pretty dope. Now, if I can get all of my tweeters that follow on Twitter to join this live stream, that would be dope. Yeah. That would be so much. That'd be freaking awesome. So, so we're on Periscope/Twitter. We're on Twitch. We're on Facebook and on YouTube.
We're everywhere.
Yeah, we're everywhere.
So so definitely check us out. Definitely check out the Crazies Kickstarter. Like I was saying, there's definitely some really cool rewards in there, and that's what we got going on. Yes. At the end of the month, we're going to be at PowCon, so make sure you check that out.
Yes.
What other stuff do we have going on? Big shout out to all of our indie supporters out there who have pledged to the campaign and who are following us here on the channel and watch us. From time to time. We've also had some really cool sponsors that have been sponsoring shows, and hopefully that has helped you guys out. Let us know how that has done. Big shout out to Jerry Winsborough, who's one of our sponsors for the book Seek, which has a few hours left. So if you go into Kickstarter, check out Seek.
He killed it. He batted out the park.
That's right. He's got over 75 backers at this point, almost 100. So check him out on there. There's a few hours left for him. Yes. And Daphne Lage, big shout out to her.
Daphne Lage, she killed it on day 1 on the live stream. That's pretty dope. So again, I see that our guest is in the waiting room. So if you have a campaign and you're looking to spread the word like our sponsors have, then you should be.
Do you have a Kickstarter campaign and you're trying to figure out how do you get the word out? You look online and you see the competition is fierce. Comic-Cons are slowly coming back, but in the meantime, how do you spread the word? You worked for hours creating your campaign. You post on as many social media sites as possible, trying to get the word out to no avail. Well, look no further. Why not sponsor an episode of Catch the Craze podcast, the fastest growing indie podcast in the market today? That 30-second promo can get you an extra 2 to 3 backers or more. Who knows? Let's go. Hit the link below and get one step closer to a successful campaign.
All right, so we're bringing in our guest from the waiting room. Hello there.
Hello.
How'd he do?
What's
Pretty
going
good. How about
on?
you guys?
Good, man. Good meeting you.
Excellent. Yeah, it's good. Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, no problem. And so we are now live with the creator of the book, Confidence.
Yes.
So thank you for coming on. This is Sam. I'm George, and it's very nice to meet you. I was telling briefly when we started how we kind of met, and now people meet on social media, right? So like that's how we met. So like you hit me up. Thank you so much for the message. Went on there, checked out your book on Kickstarter, and it looks great. So before we get going, because we've never been on the show, we normally like to do is we like to introduce our guests to the world. So tell us a little bit about yourself. And tell us how your humble beginnings. Where did it all start?
All right. Well, I'm Todd Zverloff. I'm logged in under my son's name for some reason. As you'll see.
Yeah, I thought that
I
was
was like,
weird.
wait a minute, we got the wrong guy.
He logs into like a little music class that he does. So yeah, my computer must have had that saved. So yeah, that's my son. So I'm from Akron, Ohio. I've been writing on and off for 25 years, one way or another, since high school. But it was always, hobby, but never really enough of one, I guess. But I was an English teacher for a long time at high school and college levels. And I, after years of teaching people to write, I, always said I was going to do it. And I just finally really put my money where my mouth was a couple years ago and started actually churning some stuff out. So first thing I did was I wrote a couple like middle grade. My daughter was in second grade at the time. I wrote a couple middle grade chapter books with her. She gave me some ideas and I kind of turned them into like little novels. And I self-published those on Amazon. They didn't really go anywhere, but I didn't also really have a lot of time to promote those either. So they exist out there in the ether somewhere still. But that wasn't really like my, what I was looking to do. So I got into comics because that's what I've been reading comics since I was 10. So it's always been one of my favorite things in the world. Right. Comic shows, reading comics, just the whole scene. So I decided to write my own comic, and a couple years ago, I got a bunch of local creators together from my area, all throughout Ohio actually, and I curated a group of stories and do an anthology about the state of Ohio, like myths, legends, story, things like that. And all the creators in it are Ohio writers, artists. And so we put that out, came out in June, this last June. We Kickstarted it last year, finally got it out in June. And that really kind of got me moving. I wrote a couple shorts, thought, let's keep this moving. I really had a lot of fun with that. I really liked the comic medium, writing for it. So I put together a story, and that's what eventually became Confidence, which is now on Kickstarter. It was actually, oddly enough, it was my very first comic idea that I had about 4 or 5 years ago. A buddy of mine who's a local artist, graphic designer, but he's a little more in the game than I was at that point. He'd done a couple things on his own. And we drew up this little short story and submitted it to an anthology. Got shot down like immediately, unfortunately. And I shelved it for a long time. And then I came back to it during the pandemic because I got some ideas that I thought made the story flow a little better. I expanded it, from 10 pages to 30. Worked a little more detail in there and stuff. And unfortunately, my buddy David, who did the art the first time, he's gone on to more success. So he didn't have time to pick back up with the art. So I went out and I found an artist on Facebook because this crazy, beautiful landscape we have now. He's from Chile. I'm in Ohio. Nice. So it's really cool. We never would have met in a million years any other way. And here we are. So he's an awesome dude. I love the work he's turning in. His name's Reynaldo Lay. He's killing it on the book. So I couldn't be happier. So yeah, that's basically where I'm at now. I'm just trying to get this thing funded.
That's
got
awesome.
funded half the art myself. Just need to fund the rest of it and the printing and all that stuff. So
I'm looking at
that's where we're at.
your variant, your retro variant cover. That is beautiful. Who was the artist on that? Was it Ronaldo as well?
No, that's Ed Bickford. He's a guy I've been like sort of semi Facebook stalking for about a year now. He's an artist. And every day he does lunch art. Like at lunchtime, he just does a little pen and ink sketch. And I really liked his inking style. So every day I see him and he posts all these like retro robot alien things, and I'm like, that's so stinking cool. So when it came time to need a cover, I was like, man, that guy would be perfect. So I reached out. He was super gracious and was like, heck yeah, I'm on board. And then he got really into it. Now now I'm friends with him. He's an awesome dude. It's really cool. Like I've met some great people doing this.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he gave me that, the initial like draft of that cover, and I was like, oh, that's a cool layout, man. It's going to be neat. And then he gave me it was mostly finished by that point. And I'm like, holy shit. Like,
I mean, he did the colors too?
I mean, yeah, he did everything.
Oh, beautiful. I mean, it's beautifully
he
done.
He did the graphic design too, the retro styling on the logo and everything, giving it the retro sort of little bit tattered, destroyed look.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
The weathered look. Yeah, I was super happy with that. So, there's two great covers. The main cover was drawn by Reynaldo, and then Ed Bickford did that variant cover for me.
Yeah, it looks beautiful, man. It looks beautiful. Now, at what level or at what reward level would you get the variant cover?
You could just order it straight up as a, if you just want the variant cover, you just want the regular cover, $10 either one, or you get them both for $20.
Oh, that's beautiful.
So yeah, you don't have to work your way up there to get. If it's just that's what you want, that's what you want.
That's awesome. So Todd, I have a question just about when you were talking about when you started. So you have a background in writing, obviously in English, and so. Why comics? I know you love the genre. Do you find comics to be easier to write than, say, for example, a prose? Because I always had that debate with like a buddy of mine. He's like, "Yo, what's easier to write, a comic or a prose?" And prose is difficult. I mean, for me, I think comics are a lot easier. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I think that with prose, you get bogged. Like this was always my problem. I have like 7 or 8 unfinished novels that are, in various stages, because you just get bogged down with. You're not just trying to tell the story, you're trying to tell it in an interesting way too.
Right.
You're worried about your vocabulary, your sentence structure. Is this, this sentence says what I want it to say, but is it like punchy enough for someone to, think I want to keep reading this, or does it bog it down because it's too long?
Right.
That kind of stuff just gets in the way. And I love the idea of, it's sort of the lazy answer. Like I love that the pictures can do a lot of the legwork for me,
Right.
You let the artist, tell those little details. So I like that aspect of it. I think that it makes it also more dramatic. Like I think sometimes that words can't describe something, there's plenty of books that I've read that have hit me, really hard, and, just absolutely love. But then there's also comics that just a panel, you can look at it and go, damn, like I remember that panel. I know that you get so much feeling out of it. And I think I like that more at this point in my life.
Yeah.
Like I'd rather read a comic than a book. Not to say I don't read books, but I'd just rather read a comic.
Yeah. No, I think it's the ultimate show me, don't tell me, right? Like it's you're seeing it, you're seeing it right in front of your face. So now this particular book, going back to confidence, that it's a 30-page book, the volume 1, right? It's 30 pages.
Right.
Do you have have you already written the rest of it, or is like, do you get one story in 30 pages? Is what I'm asking, or is it an ongoing series?
That's thank you for saying that, because I was going to bring that up later anyway. I called it volume 1. Instead of issue 1, because I just wanted it to be standalone. Like you can read it and it wraps itself up and you're like, excellent. That was a fun story. Had a good time with it. That's it. But it also has so much more room because, you don't know, there's so much more background on the characters that you could get, but you don't need it if you just want to enjoy that one story. So that's why I called it volume instead of issue, because I didn't want someone to come into it I mean, I know for me personally, maybe no one else has this hang up, but sometimes when you look at Kickstarters and you're like, all right, this guy wants $10 for issue number 1 of something that I don't know how long it's going to go on or how long it might be before I get the next issue.
Yeah.
Now I still back a lot of those because they look great, but I didn't want anybody to look at mine and think, I'm not sure. Is he ever going to really finish this? So I wanted everybody to see, like, this is self-contained. It's just the first part of it, but it, you can read it and just enjoy it, and you never have to come back to anything in that world again.
Before you, I just wanted to acknowledge that Daphne Lage is in the audience, and she says, hello, Todd. I know I mentioned it before, but I do really enjoy the artwork for the book, that perfect amount of cartooning that I love.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, I was on a podcast with Daphne on Sunday night, so
nice. Yeah, Daphne's on, I think, everybody's podcast on the planet. So every time I look, I see her face on another podcast. I don't know if she's a squatter, but she shows up everywhere.
She is everywhere, man. She's everywhere.
Awesome.
Yeah, she's awesome.
No, she's awesome. She's an awesome. She's an amazing artist. She's very talented, and she's an amazing person. I mean, she's got all of that going on. So thank you, Daph, for the question. But So tell us a little bit about confidence. I know confidence from when I was reading through the Kickstarter. For everybody watching, this is Todd, and pronounce your last name for me, Todd, because I think I killed it the first time.
Oh, it's Zverloff. You just pretend like the V's not there.
Gotcha. So Todd Zverloff, he's got a Kickstarter right now called Confidence, and so definitely check that out. The link will be there on the on our chat. But so. Basically, Confidence is the misadventures of Alan, right? So tell us what this was about. Tell us what it's about, because it's pretty original. So tell us what it's about.
So essentially, Alan is a con man. We're the far-flung future. I think I referenced the 32nd century, even though it's not a hard and fast thing. So way off in the future, space travel, aliens, all that good stuff. So Alan is aboard a cruise ship, like a luxury cruise ship. But now we're in space, not on the ocean. And he is a con man on there, and you're basically following him along as he charms, grifts, cons, whatever, various people or groups of people on the ship. Because what you see is he's sort of getting something from each of them. Right. And he talks, the narrative kind of talks about why he's getting it, how he's getting it, things like that, sort of running you through his process. And you don't know till the end why he's gathering all of these things. And, I'm not going to tell you because then you got to read to the end. But yeah, so it's all for a payoff of some sort, but you don't know what that is. So you just see him sort of working his way through people, and you get to see him kind of be different people to different people, for whatever he needs from them and such. So.
Awesome. And where did the idea spawn from? Were you watching a movie? Were you reading a book? Where did it come from?
No idea. So I was supposed to meet with my buddy David. I said this started as a short. Well, we saw that Alternative Comics was having for their annual I'm not sure if it's IF or IF anthology that they do every year. So we were like, let's put together a story for this. We're going to get serious. Let's put together a story. So we were meeting for lunch that day to talk about it. And in the shower that morning, I had this totally other idea. And in the shower that morning, I was just hit me. I don't even know why. I wasn't thinking anything. And I just was like, oh man, that'd be cool. And then I went to lunch with that idea, and then we just kind of spitballed a little bit more of the things that could happen and how we would do it and such. And originally the concept of him going from person to person was actually each person was a page. We did this standard 3-panel layout on each page, and it was him just each page was him with a different person doing a different kind of thing, and then then we got to the end, same ending, but we got there a lot quicker with a lot less detail. So we had this sort of kind of felt aligned that way, which I kind of abandoned in the final because it didn't work as well for a 30-page story as it did for the shorter one. But overall the story's, I feel much better. I mean, first off, I'm a more, I don't know that I'm a better writer, but I'm just a more experienced writer than I was when I did that. I have a lot better sense of, at least for comic writing, a lot better sense of the page turn and of, how much can fit into a page without overloading somebody.
Right. So going back to, we got, Daphne says, do you find it difficult to write a self-contained story in one issue? She finds short comic stories a real challenge to do and seems to take more planning than a longer story.
That's where this worked, because I had trouble fitting it into 10 pages the first time. And a lot of this stemmed from that. Like, I had all these ideas I abandoned the first time. And then years, like I said, years later, when I started just rehashing this in my head, that's when I was like, man, I did have a lot of extra stuff in there. And I thought of the ways that could still tie in. So yeah, like, this worked because it was so hard to write this as 10 pages. So I didn't set out to write a 30-page comic. I just took all the ideas that I had expanded and just wrote and saw where it left me. And I was trying to get to somewhere around 30 pages. I mean, I wanted it to be at least full issue size, anywhere 22, 24, but I was kind of hoping for a little bit more. So I ended up right exactly where I kind of hoped, but it was by just pure chance, really. It wasn't because I really fought for it. And it was actually only a 28-page story until I had Chuck Pinot, my editor. Everyone knows Chuck. He gave me some ideas of how some things should have been split up, and I ended up with 2 extra pages after he ran through it. So that's where we got there. So yeah, I do find it very hard to write a small self-contained story. It was so much more freeing to write a bigger story, which I know 30 pages isn't really that big in the end. But for me, it was the largest format I've written. So I was pretty happy with that.
So when you were developing this story, did you when you gave your character profiles and you provided it to the artist, did you give them the look, the feel, the height, the weight, all that stuff, or you just gave them creative freedom?
I gave Ray completely, I was like, he's a human this age, you do your thing. But he did ask for a little bit of reference. Just, so he didn't want to have to redraw it if I was maybe not quite like that.
Right.
So I did give him, I gave him reference of, I don't know if you ever watched the show White Collar when it was on.
Yes.
It was a show. The Matt Bomer, the guy who plays Neil in that. I kind of envisioned that that is his sort of personality too. He's a criminal, but he's charming and slick and, well kept and such, but more of a cerebral villain than a physical villain, if you will. I mean, not that he's really a villain, but he is a criminal. So, I guess you call it as you wish.
Right. So how many versions did you get until you landed on the look, or was it just he nailed it on the first try?
I mean, honestly, he sent me. He's like, "How about this?" And I was like, "Yep." I mean, I'm a simple man at this point. I'm sure there's guys who've seen their words turned into comics so many times that they might have more of an opinion. But for me, I just geek out so much every time I get anything back. I'm like, oh god, this is so good. Right. It's so stinking cool. So yeah, he gave it to me, and I was like, I never imagined someone drawing what I thought of that well. So I mean, I'm not to say I don't like it. I absolutely love what he came up with. But I'm saying he could have turned it in 10 times worse than that, and I still would have been excited.
Right.
But yeah, he did nail it. Honestly, first take. I mean, he gave me one picture. I was like, "Yep, that's it right there."
Nice. So, your campaign. Let's talk about some of the incentives. What's in it for? Because I see you have a lot of backers already, which is pretty awesome. And you have some time to go. So let's talk about some of. How much thought did you give it into the levels or some of the reward tiers?
Not enough in the beginning, I will say. I launched with, I had that one Kickstarter under my belt for the anthology I put together, but that was I created the Kickstarter, but it was really a group effort selling the Kickstarter.
Right.
And we had so many artists and everything, it kind of sold itself,
Right.
We had a couple artists on there that just have crazy followings, and all their friends and fans bought it. So it wasn't a lot of legwork. But this time, I'm front and center. It's all on me.
Right.
And I kind of whiffed a little bit initially. I'm not going to lie. I had the fortune to have the indie comics community kind of back me. And I kind of asked some people, what am I doing wrong? I thought I had this more than I do. And I got a lot of really great feedback from some other indie creators. And I kind of revamped the whole campaign 3 or 4 days in. So that's where we got more reward tiers basically.
Right.
Basically, I didn't have I had a lot of tiers with a lot of different variations of the same kinds of things. So that's when I got more of a variety of swag, I guess. Like I got the t-shirts, I got decals. I gave people more of a price point than just here's a book, or here's like, I have some tiers in there where you can get drawn into the book,
right?
Because the book's only half done. So I threw some tiers in there for the rest of it. You can get drawn in the background, and there's a tier where you can actually get drawn as there's a speaking character that we haven't gotten to yet in the art that I was gonna let someone be that,
right?
Be the alien, get to themselves drawn as an alien. So that kind of stuff. So I found some middle ground for there. Some people to give me a little bit more support than just the book. So we got some cool t-shirts inspired by stuff from the book that make no sense now to people, but they'll make sense hopefully once you read it. And some decals, just like the logo and the ship and stuff.
Right. Yeah, I was actually going to ask you about that t-shirt, the old what is that, Glass Guardian? I was like, what is that? Like, it looks cool, but I'm like, what is that? The cologne.
So that's actually a little joke that I came up with. I was trying to think of ways to market the book. And since Alan's sort of a con man, he does semi-spoiler, he does, like, there's a part where in the book where he seduces an alien woman. And so I came up with this joke that it was like Alan's guide to seducing non-human women.
Right.
And I had a bunch of like joke things that he looks for and stuff. And one of them was make sure you smell nice. And I just came up with the most ridiculous name I could think of, Old Glasvardian Yak Musk. That's, apparently the clone of the future. So I just made a shirt of it. And now I have to include that little guide in the book, though, so it makes more sense, because that was not actually in the original book. That was just what I came up with off the cuff. But I thought it'd make a great t-shirt. So I think it makes people laugh, so we'll go with it. So I think I'm gonna include that little blurb in the back of the book as a joke.
Yeah, no, and you know what? And it's cool because
t-shirt makes a little more sense.
Yeah, and the pledge to get a t-shirt is only $25. So for $25, you can get a standard cover plus a t-shirt. So that is an awesome pledge right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have the distinct advantage that my side hustle is that I make t-shirts and vinyl decals.
Oh, nice.
And sell them at like shows and stuff. So the t-shirts are all going to be in house. Like I'll make them all myself. So I don't have to pay that middleman, so that's why they're only basically it's $15 for a t-shirt, which is my going rate when I sell t-shirts anyway, because I can produce them myself. I know the cost, I know the time and everything, so it's not hurting me. But
and that's a good
I
thing.
know when you have to buy t-shirts from other people, you have to charge $20-$25 to make your money back on them, because saves me a little bit.
Yeah. Daphne says, when you start teaching yourself Excel to keep track of all your levels and rewards, the campaign might be a bit extra. Yeah, it's a full-time job, running a campaign. It's a daily endeavor. It's like you wake up, you go to sleep, you're thinking about the damn campaign, and you're like, oh my God, I gotta promote. Where can I promote? Am I using the right tags? Am I reaching out to the right people? So I can imagine.
Yeah. It's exhausting. It is absolutely exhausting, as I'm finding.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, the first campaign I ran was like, I had a little bit of nerve, but we funded pretty fast from some generous donations right off the bat. And so it wasn't like this, It's now, this time it's really,
I think I
can feel it.
Yeah, I think, it's funny. I was talking to a bunch of other cats that are doing indies that are doing Kickstarters. And there seems to be like a lull right now because it's like everyone started strong and then they hit like a wall, and then it just paused.
It's
simultaneously because it's like 5 other guys I've been talking to. Same thing happened. It's just hit. You start off strong, and then all of a sudden you have several days where it's like there's nothing happening, and it's like, well, is there like championships going on? What's cool? It's crazy.
Yeah, I hit a wall for a few days, and the last 2 days have been pretty strong for me. I could hope for more. mean, you would always hope for more, but it wasn't like some crazy boon, but it's picked back up, like, but you run a campaign, you want it to be like that first 10 minutes when you first share it and all the people you knew were going to back it, and you watch that number just shoot up and you're like, so you're always waiting for that to happen again.
Yes.
It never works like that, unfortunately.
It's true.
Yeah, I think it's the quiet moments that drive you nuts, whereas like there's no movement. You're like, what? Bloody hell! What the hell do I have to do?
But
and then you're like, oh, sorry, go ahead, man.
No, go ahead, Doug. Say what you're gonna say.
I was just gonna say, then you share the thing out again, and you're like, I've shared this out so many times. Like, why?
Yeah.
Is this time really gonna be the one that does it?
Yeah.
And then like you get that one like little pledge, and you're like, yeah, maybe it was. I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. You just keep doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I was just I'm looking. I'm just scrolling through the campaign, and I see also here that you have what you're calling dealer bundles. So you want to tell us a little bit about what the dealer bundles are?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's just retail bundles for comic shops. Give a little bit of discount. I think they end up working out to right about half price. If you buy 5 for the standard cover, or 5 for the variant cover, or 10 with 5 of each cover
Nice.
for retailers. I thought I'd throw that in there just in case someone wanted to get in on that. I've had a couple people partake so far, so I'm glad I did it. But yeah, I wasn't necessarily hanging my hat on that. I know indie comics aren't always the easiest sell to comic shops.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a bad
You
rep.
got to find the right shop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You say we have a
There's
bad
those nice shops.
Yeah, we're the misfits.
Nope. Not a guaranteed sale.
No, it isn't.
And I know it's hard now for comic stores because a lot, all the weird stuff going on with distribution and stuff, and they're not sure what their margins are going to be and all that. So I get it.
No, I love the interior art, Todd. I really am looking forward to reading the book. I pledged to it, and I can't wait to get the copies of the book. So I'm very much looking forward to it. As far as the lettering and the graphic design, you also have somebody that you have a team that you're working with here that does all of the different levels, and that's great. And you found them all through social media. Is that how you found everybody?
So actually, as crazy as this is, so I found Ray on social media. I just posted in a group, and I said, hey, I'm looking for this kind of sci-fi, kind of comedy, lighthearted kind of book, nothing too dark and crazy. And I got a bunch of people reply, or no, actually, I lied. That's not how I found him. I did do that I was looking for an artist for an anthology that I was going to do. And he was one of the people that messaged me after I got my initial artist. Because it was a sci-fi thing I was looking for the anthology thing, but it wasn't this story. And then I saw his art, and I already had another artist for this anthology thing. That didn't end up panning out, unfortunately. But Ray messaged me, and I was like, dude, your art's so good. Like, I wish I would have went with you for initially, honestly, because I really dig your thing. I was like, but you know what? I've got this other idea that I at that point I had the whole thing written, but I was waiting to get it edited, and I was still making some final changes. And so I asked him if I was like, man, are you going to be available in about a month? And he said, sure. And so I hit him back up in a month, and he was all in, and he's been absolutely great to work with. And and the colors are actually done by his brother. He said, hey, do you when I told him about this, he said, hey, do you need a colorist? And I was like, yeah, I mean, I was going to look for one. He's like, hey, my brother does colors. And initially you're like, oh, okay, I'm sure. Yeah, let's see your brother's colors. Then and he showed me, and I'm like, oh wow, yeah, your brother's. He's like, yeah, my brother's a pro, and I'm like, oh yes, he is. Like those look great. And then it turns out the letterer Christian is he lives down in Santiago, near them, and he's friends with them.
Oh wow.
And again, he's like, hey, my buddy's a letterer. I'm like, oh okay.
Here we go.
I was like, and then I saw his work, and like. I was like, oh man, he actually does look pretty legit. His price was good, and then actually what Christian's done for me though is he created the logo for the book. He does logos and lettering. And I saw some of the logos on his portfolio, and I was like, damn, these are nice. So I tasked him with making the comic book logo, and I loved it so much that I paid him to make my company's logo too. Because because my company's logo was kind of this thing I slapped together a few years ago that I wanted to revamp, but I never really, it wasn't a priority.
Right.
But I was like, man, I found this guy. I really want to do something. So then he did my Singularity Studios as my publishing company. And he did the logo for that. And he did even better on that one. That one I'm just blown away by how awesome it looks. I dig it so much. So yeah, so he did the logos, and he's going to letter the book. He's only lettered the first 4 pages now just for the Kickstarter.
Yeah.
But I'm blown away with what he did too. So,
Yeah.
you know, it worked out. It was like they've already all 3 worked together before because they're all friends. So it was awesome that I was able to, you know, hook up with them and get that whole, you know, sort of family, I guess, because they've all been great to work with. They're all super nice. They're timely, you know, totally professional. It's been just a great relationship so far. So I'm really happy to have found them.
Yeah, no, it looks great, man. And that's why I asked that, because the lettering looks amazing, dude. It looks really, really, really good, really fun. The funny thing is, there's, you know, there's a lot of content as far as like words on the page, but they don't get in the way of the artwork, which is a very, very, very well done work by your letterer. So yeah, no, I appreciate it. That looks really, really good. When do you think the book will be completed by? What are you expecting?
We put August of this year for our completion date for the Kickstarter. That's the hope. You know, as soon as the Kickstarter's over, hoping we fund, I'm gonna, you know, get Ray back on the pages. He was averaging 3 pages a week.
Nice.
So about another 4 or 5 weeks of art, and then, you know, coloring was kind of being done right after that. So it was, you know, I figured give it another couple weeks for that, and lettering. Hope to have it to the printers by end of June.
Okay.
And then have it then in my hands by the beginning of August, and then ship it out when I get it. But you know, I'm always very optimistic. I'm what my wife and I have determined is I'm a time optimist. You know, if someone says 2 to 4 weeks, I'm like, cool, 2 weeks. You know, yeah, I mean, that's the hope is. I don't see any reason it shouldn't. I mean, I've worked with the printer before that that I'm going with. They were very timely the first time. You know, quick turnaround.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I was going to mention that
in the team.
I was going to mention that with your T-shirts too, Todd, because you're making them yourself. There is no risk there. I mean, you have them, you print them, you're out. You know, so that's also very, very, very good.
It's a Saturday afternoon, and that's all I need. Same with the stickers. You know, knock those out in an hour or two. So, yeah, that's what's been able to help me get all that. I know guys that have like enamel pins and. You know, I was just talking to Matt Knowles right before this. We were live right before this. He's got a vinyl record coming with his campaign, you know, like, jeez. So like hand pressed vinyl, like, you know, yeah, there's like all kinds of, you know, dates for that kind of stuff.
Right.
So it's nice to have everything in house, and I'm just getting started. That's kind of how I wanted to keep it. I didn't want to go too nuts with it, and run into those kinds of weird, you know, shipping or printing issues that could cause delays that I wasn't, you know, foreseeing. So trying to keep it simple.
Yeah, absolutely. And for everybody who's watching, Confidence Volume 1 is on Kickstarter. It is the goal. Well, the campaign ends May 27th at 8:49 a.m. So you still have some time to pledge. Make sure you do so. Because this book looks cool, man, and I really want to see it completed. I love the artwork. The concept is awesome. Yeah, you know, you're a great dude. Why not, right? Let's get this thing funded.
Yes.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, I think I'm great too. My mom told me I was great, so you know, I figure
you gotta love a time optimist, bro. You gotta love them. You know what I mean?
There you go.
I think I've got all the time in the world for everything I need.
So how can people reach you?
That is why I'm late. I'm on Facebook under my name and under Singularity Studios. I am on Instagram under Singularity Studios Comics. I do not do the Twitter thing.
Yeah, I couldn't find you. I was trying to tag you on Twitter. I couldn't find you.
Yeah, no, I know I probably should, but every time I think about it, someone's like, "Man, Twitter's a toxic dump." I'm like, "Yeah, I don't."
I haven't had any.
Life.
I haven't had any of those experiences because I just focus on promoting guests or my work. I don't get caught up in anything, so I don't put any political statement. I think when people start posting their personal views and all that stuff, that's when they're gonna attract some, people who want to challenge you, no matter what you say. So I just keep it PC, focus on promoting, and that's it.
It's probably what I will do when I eventually get around to it. So yeah. And then you can also find me on SingularityStudiosPublishing.com, the website, which is crazy because like 10 years ago having a website was awesome. Now it's like feels like it's dated having a website.
Yeah.
Like it's not, everything's on social media. So, but yeah, I mean, you can find me a variety of ways, and obviously on Kickstarter, for sure.
Definitely, dude. And you know what? When this is over and you fund it, we definitely want to have you back. Talk more about Singularity Studios because I definitely want to get into that whole side of your business and what you're doing. So that's going to be awesome to talk about. But thank you so much, man, for coming on. Thank you for reaching out.
Yep.
And best of luck to you, buddy.
It's awesome. Hey, before I go, I just have to ask you one thing. How excited are you for Julius Randle?
Dude, listen, the game tonight.
I see the hat.
I'm like, the game tonight, I'm like, they got to beat the Lakers. They're in it. Where are you?
I'm from Ohio.
Oh,
I
that's right,
actually
Akron.
live.
So how do you feel about LeBron? Do you love him, hate him?
I was pissed the first time he left. The second time he left, I don't really blame him as much. So I root for him. I mean, I can't root for the Cavs because they're too sorry. I mean, I hope they're for their progress, but like watching them right now is hard.
Yeah, I know, dude.
And honestly, plus our local cable network is fighting with Fox Sports, so we can't even watch Cavs games.
Wow.
I just have to you can't do the NBA TV or the NBA League Pass thing because they're blacked up. Yeah. So I just have to look at box scores for the season, unfortunately. But yeah, so I'm rooting for the Lakers. I mean, I'm happy for the Knicks, man. I am. I'm happy. You guys have suffered as long as we have. Like
it's been bad.
Since Patrick Ewing left, man, you're on Houston years, but
yes,
that was still disappointing.
It's been rough. It's been rough, but that's fandom, right? That's what you do. You just root for these teams. Don't even know why. I'm a Jets fan too, by the way, so I'm screwed all over the place.
I'm a Browns fan, so we had our painful years, but we got Baker. You got
Baker, dude.
We got OBJ and.
Yeah, I mean, we're going off topic, but I was in Cleveland last year actually for a game. No, 2 years ago for a game. We went to Cleveland for a football game. It was fun, dude. It was really. They were playing Seattle at the time, and Mayfield did really well. I hated OBJ. I was like, damn, you guys got stuck with that guy, but whatever.
He had like those 2 awesome games last season where we're like, oh yeah, that's what we got, and then he got hurt. So
he got hurt.
Like,
Landry's the man, though. You got Landry. You still got Landry. So that's good.
We got Myles Garrett. Now we got Jadeveon Clowney. So I am super psyched.
There you go, Todd. Thank you so much, brother. I could talk to you about sports all night. Sam's probably falling asleep over
there. Yeah, if it ain't UFC, I don't know Jack.
I love UFC too, man. Talk my boy. John Jones all night.
Oh yes, Donald Cerrone's recent loss again. Poor guy. But so I'm like, he's dropping back down to 155, and he's gonna try to fight again his last fight, and so it's gonna be his, I guess, going away fight.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, and he'll go to Bellator, but that's what they all do. They all go like with the.
Yeah, he'll headline a fight with some other dude who's 40 years old, and
they're
gonna be like, biggest fight ever.
I know, brother. Thank you again. We definitely want to get you back on the show, and and deep dive into your life. And but thank you again for coming on Catch the Craze, brother.
Oh, thank you guys so much for having me, man. It's been a great time talking to you.
You got it.
I appreciate the support of the campaign, and appreciate you blasting it out like this, man. It's awesome.
You got it.
Absolutely.
You got it, man.
Absolutely.
We got to get to that goal, brother. We got to get to that goal. We'll talk soon.
Thank you.
Yes.
All right, man. You guys take care.
All right, bud. Bye.
Bye.
Peace. Yeah, so that was Todd Zverloff and Confidence. And the book looks dope. When my wife hears me say dope, she says, what did you just say? But yeah, the book looks pretty awesome. The artwork looks great. The coloring looks dope. I love that vintage, that retro cover. So yeah, it's amazing. This is why I love doing the show.
Yeah.
For all the talent and the great personalities that we get to meet.
Yeah, nah, that's awesome, dude. They come from everywhere. You know what I mean? Big shout out to Todd and coming on and talking about his stuff. And I love the fact that he just reached out, dude. He said, "Hey man," he hit me up on Facebook. "Hey man, I got a book. You want to check it out?" I was like, "Sure, dude. Let me check it out." And and not for nothing, it wasn't just because, hey, he just told me to do it. Like, it really does look really, really good. Like, the book is, the artwork is amazing. The coloring, the production of the book itself is awesome.
Yes.
That cover that you were talking about, the vintage cover, looks freaking
that cover
cool
is
as hell.
Sick.
So yeah, if you guys are watching, definitely hit up Kickstarter, check out Confidence, hit the link, and definitely pledge. He's got 15 days left. He's got a lot of backers on there, but we got to make that goal. So
yeah, it doesn't matter if you have the backers. What matters is that you make the goal. Again, you want to have the backers. I wish I had that problem. He has 81. How many backers does he have?
81.
Yeah, 81 backers, and I was watching it tonight to see if anything's changed on it, to see if we got any ticks. But the link is in the chat. It's also in the summary of this episode. Also remind everyone that we do have Catch the Crazees on Kickstarter as well. So check it out. We do have 18 days left.
That's right.
And we're excited. So, we have upcoming shows. We have 2 shows tomorrow. We have 2 guests. We got Frank Forte and we have Kevin of Inked tomorrow night live. So we have, again, 2 shows back-to-back live streaming. Next week, we have Daphne Lage, who's also a sponsor of our show. And we have us. We're going to be live. So for all of our super backers, we have a gift for you. You need to join us next Wednesday to find out what that gift is. And it's our super backers, those of you who have pledged in each one of our campaigns, Catch the Crazees 1, 2, and 3. We have a gift for you. So there's about 11 of you who haven't pledged yet for for issue 3. So if I were you, I'd do it because you're going to want this gift. It's a one of a kind. So that's pretty dope. So with that said, I'm Sam the Crazy Man Vera.
George the Dino Medina.
And we are out.
That's not it.
It's just easy. It's not.
Crazy. Acquiesce. No, I was talking about my friend Acquiesce. I met him. Say my name, right?
This is what you were thinking? Oh, Lord.
He described me. He said, I'm the...
What? Catch the Craze. You're listening to Catch the Craze. You're listening to Catch the Craze. To Catch the Craze. You are listening to Catch the Craze. On Catch the Craze. You're listening to Catch the Craze.